Good morning, everyone. This is M4J Watt Replays, and today I am doing my Blaze review. Before I get into that, I want to say here that this is my channel's 1-year anniversary. I started posting videos 1 year ago, and since then I have gained over 90, almost 100 subs. So thank you for those who subscribed. And without further ado, we'll get into the review of the WZ Blaze. We'll start off with the gun. It's got pretty good. I'm going to be speaking with the Blaze, all the characteristics it's got. I'm going to use the characteristics that it has whenever it's got all provisions, gun rammer, and all that kind of stuff. Reload time, 10.9 seconds, not bad at all. It's not nearly the wonderful 7 second of the SU-152 when it's equipped with its 122. Penetration 175, again, not bad. And whenever you're in those higher tier matchups, you really can't penetrate any heavy tanks at all. But when you load the APCR, you can usually be able to go through them. Its aim time is wonderful, 3 seconds. You can really make some snapshots. Although I wouldn't, because for some reason, whenever I'm using this tank, my RNG is terrible. I can be like fully aimed in on it, it'll just completely miss or bounce off. Aim time's 3 seconds, accuracy is 0.335, so again, very, very good accuracy and aim time. Especially for a gun like this. And I think that was really about it for the gun. The speed of this thing it's got really good mobility. 50 kilometers an hour top speed, turns pretty well, great, it speeds up pretty well as well, and it's got that turret, so you can move your gun. You have a pretty wide gun arc if you're gonna sit there and snipe. The armor, it's terrible. Never ever rely on your armor in this tank, because the max it has is like 75 millimeters, and KV2s, Smashers, SU-152s, they're automatically going to load HE when they're shooting at you. This tank is really fun. It's a very fun tank. I don't personally do that well in it, but it is a very fun tank. I don't think it was worth the price that Wargaming set it for, but it is a very, very fun tank short. So there are 3 very bad things about this tank destroyer, and I'm going to start going into those. So the first one is, like I said before, the armor is pretty much non-existent. You can get some very troll bounces on that very sloped upper plate there, but you really don't have any armor to speak of. The second issue is the engine is in the front. If you get hit with a shell, well, it's pretty much going to catch on fire every time, or at least 25% of the time when you get hit by a 122mm round or higher. And if it's higher, the chances go way up. I've been set on fire so many times, and I don't know if it might just be Wargaming's way of making fun of the name of this tank, the WZ Blaze, by turning it into a blazing inferno whenever it gets hit in the front of the engine. But that is definitely one of the bad things about this tank destroyer. And I did forget that it does have nice HE pen. You can penetrate the sides of pretty much any French tank with high explosive, and you're gonna do like 400, 500 damage. The HE is really useful. And the final terrible thing about this tank is the fact that whenever you're turning, like with the Chinese tank destroyers, the WZ 113-1 GFT and the T-34-2 GFT, you don't just turn, you turn and drive forward at the same time. So if you're going at full speed and you need to suddenly turn, you're gonna go zooming around the corner, and it's just very dangerous. I've had so many times where I'm like gonna go zoom around. I'm driving like a normal tank destroyer, for example. There's a corner right there. I'm driving towards it. I'm gonna turn, pop out around the corner, and back up. Normally I'll just like stop at the corner and turn on my normal tank shores, but in this and the other Chinese tank shores, when I go to turn around the corner, I go around the corner and I keep driving forward. So you do really have to watch that. But on the whole, this is a very fun tank. It's a very nice tank destroyer, and even though it wasn't worth the price, it's a good tank. So now I'm going to get into the replay here. I believe that this particular Blaze is being driven by Andrew Gamer 2009, and he's coming over here. He's gonna get a very nice battle. He gets a nice shot there in that Tiger P right off the bat. It was one of those snapshots, and like I said, it can make snapshots, but for me personally, RNG has not been too great, so I personally always try to fully aim in, but it can make those snapshots. So he's going to come around here behind this Tiger P, and I almost forgot to mention, it has 8 degrees of gun depression, and compared to other Chinese tanks, 8 degrees is wonderful. You can work a lot of ridge lines with 8 degrees of gun depression. And as you can see here, he doesn't need to push up very far to get this Tiger P. Fortunately, he does get a low roll there, and not a low roll. The Tiger P is only at 6 health, that's what I was trying to say. But Tiger P is going to get away, but here comes the VK 30.02M. He gets a nice 500 high roll there, and now he needs to back down. He gets set on fire right there. That's one of the things I was talking about. This tank will get set on fire so easy, but anyways, he's going to back up. He's going to do a nice drop here. He's going to get a nice shot there, and he is going to be able to, he's going to take one more shot, but then he's going to reload before this VK can take him out. And I really don't know what this VK was thinking, because the Blaze does have very nice damage per minute. Just not nearly as good as the 3000 on the SE-152, but it is still pretty good reload time for a 122mm cannon. He's going to drive up here with his Type 64. It is a 3 versus 3, and all of their tanks are still very healthy. So there's a lot of work for them to do. They've got an AT-15A, sorry about the hiccups that suddenly came on, and he can't really penetrate the AT-15A in the front. So here comes the AMX M445. He is going to poke up, I believe. Right now he's just playing it safe, because he is also a 1-shot to the AMX and the SU, and a 2-shot to the AT, and AMX decides to rush. He manages to get back before that AMX can get a shot into him. He's going to sit here, reload, and now he is going to come up. He's going to be very cautious. He's going to come up and take that AMX out. So now it is a 2 versus 2, because their last medium tank, the Y5 ELC BIS, was eliminated, and it is now just him and the Type 64. Here comes the AT-15 around the side. He does take a shot there, but he is fortunately able to fix it before the AT-15 could reload, but only just barely. He needs to be really careful. There's an SE-100Y at his right side, an AT-15 at his left side, and it is not a very good position. He's spotted now, so he's going to come over here and just try to outrun the SE-100Y, because the mobility on this thing, you can actually keep up with your medium and light tanks, and that is usually where I would suggest, sticking with your mediums and light tanks, because you don't have any armor, you've got a good gun, and your penetration is somewhat lacking. But there's that SE-100Y. He's going to wait on his Type 64 to get a shot into him. Now he can come around and he can take out this SU, and there you go. So that's the SU gone, and this AT-15A, he is actually playing it pretty smart. It's a 2 versus 1. The AT-15A is capturing the base, because there's really nothing you can do if you're fighting 2 fast tanks except go to capture the base. And Andrew Gamer here, he needs to be careful. He needs to let his Type 64 go out and spot the AT-15A so he can see which direction the AT is pointing. And now that the Type 64 has the AT's full attention, he is going to come around to the rear of this AT and is going to try to get a nice shot into him. And he's going to come around here, but he's trying to get the Type 64 to spot the AT again. And they're communicating pretty well. I do like this. Type 64 is telling him to hold position while the AT is unspotted, and Andrew Gamer here is telling him to spot the AT, so he's going to come around the corner. He gets a nice shot there. Bit of a low roll, but it does reset the base cap, and now they're no longer under quite so much pressure as whenever the AT had almost completed the cap. So the Type 64, he's making sure to shoot this AT-15A multiple times, trying to draw his attention away from Andrew Gamer here, and he is going to change positions. And this is another really good thing. If you're fighting a heavily armored tank like this, always change positions in the blaze. Never sit still in the blaze ever, no matter what you're fighting. Never sit still, always be changing positions. He's going to come around here, and that is when he should have aimed in all the way. He bounces off the side there. He's going to back up, he's going to reload, and unfortunately, he is again going to try to snap that shot off too quickly, and he completely misses that round. I have no idea where that shell went. But he is going to fully aim in this time. Third time's always the charm, and he manages to take out this AT-15A for his 4th kill, putting him at 4,330 damage. So a very nice game from Andrew 2009. Again, 4,300 damage, 4 kills, and a very good game. So, to summarize, the Blaze, really fun tank, is very weak. Always make sure that you cannot get shot, and whenever you do fire, relocate positions as soon as you are spotted, because your camo ratings after you fire goes down to 6%, and even though you're stationary, it's like 40 something, which is pretty good. If you fire, you're pretty much always going to be spotted. So I hope you liked this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. This is M4J Watt Replays, over and out.